Hey YouTube, I just wanted to talk about CCW. For some reason, I had started a video and then just lost it. So I guess now I got to start all over. But so I've been carrying for 35 years. 8 years as a reserve officer, a little over 8 years as a reserve officer, and 8 years and 4 months in the private security industry. And some of that entailed executive protection, and I actually did some witness transport in the state that I'm in, and that was the first time in state's history they contracted a security company to transport federal witnesses, and I got to do that. I was the first one to do that. But the company that was doing it didn't keep it very long, because after I left, they had a knucklehead in there and they just ruined it. But anyway, so I digress. So I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment, and but I don't believe everybody should carry a gun, because not everybody's elevator goes to the top floor. Some people are a French fry short of a Happy Meal, and those people should not be permitted to have a firearm, because their ability to make a rational decision in the heat of the moment is probably not very good. And I can see some of these people, shooting, road rage. I can see road rage shooting skyrocket if everybody and their brother had one. They get in a simple argument, they'd want to pull their gun, especially if they're a smaller in stature, a smaller person against a bigger person. Just over a simple verbal argument, may pull a gun because they feel verbally they're intimidated, which is not the right thing to do. And so I just don't think everybody deserves the right to carry a firearm, although the right should be afforded to everyone if you can demonstrate the ability of good common sense, comprehension, and discernment. There's a time and a place for everything, right? And sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where a firearm is warranted, but the backdrop and the potential for, say, civilian casualties is outnumbers your ability, or outweighs your ability to make a lethal use of force without collateral damage. And not everybody has that forethought, not everybody has that training. Should people have that? I think so. If you're going to carry every day for self-defense, you should have that training. You should get it. It's going to keep you from going to prison. It's going to give you the ability to make rational decisions. There's that Kenny Rogers song, "Know when to fold them, know when to hold them, know when to walk away, know when to run." That holds true in possessing and carrying a firearm. And not every situation is going to warrant you getting involved. Especially if you're in a large public gathering and somebody just goes ape crazy and starts blasting people. My mindset is not everybody there knows me. So if I whip out a gun and start spraying at this dude, is the next guy that just happens to see it think that I'm the shooter? You know what I mean? You got to think about that. Somebody may perceive you as the enemy and take you out. So in a situation like that, if I'm with my family, my only priority is the safety and welfare of my family. So with a firearm, I would protect and remove myself and my family out of that situation. And if I come across the shooter, then obviously, you do what you have to do to stop the threat. But your first priority should be, to protect yourself, because chances are the law enforcement's on their way. You have no insignia, nothing on your person that identifies you as the good guy, and the cops are going to show up and see you shooting and not know what you're shooting at, perhaps, and then shoot you and take you out of the picture because they perceive you as a threat. So that comes through training, because not everybody thinks that way. They think if I have a CPL, I could be a hero someday. Well, no, you could be a zero really quick. And so again, there's a lot of comment. There's a lot of there's a lot of good things in carrying a firearm. There's some bad things that could happen to you if you make the wrong choice or the wrong decision, and that's something that you really have to think about a lot, because it's like driving a car. So when you're driving a car, do you pull out? Do you stop? Do you signal? There's a lot of things involved in operating, say a 4,000-pound vehicle. I mean, you make a mistake, you get somebody killed or injured. Same thing with a firearm. You make a mistake, you get somebody killed or injured, and you're now liable. And so you become a better driver through practice and repetitive. I don't want to say repetitive, maybe that's a bad word, but the more you drive, the better off you are. If you drive in adverse weather conditions, you're going to be better at driving in adverse weather conditions, versus say somebody lives in Texas, never driven in snow. You know what I mean? So you got to look at firearms the same way. The more you shoot, the more scenarios you practice, shoot, don't shoot, being aware of what's on the opposite side of your intended target, or the threat, I should say. Being familiar with that and rehearsing those things in your mind. If you find yourself in this situation, what would I do? If I find myself in this situation, what would I do? It's really good to practice those scenarios in your head. I learned that, throughout law enforcement and through veterans that have been in shootings. It is really good to go through those shoot, don't shoot scenarios and to practice those when you're out on the range. Practice really does make perfect, and it doesn't matter what caliber you carry. Shot placement matters. Shot placement absolutely matters. I could take out an individual just as well with a 22 as I could with a 380 or a 38 or a 45 or a 40. It's shot placement. The better off you are at placing that shot, because the human body is geared on what? It's geared on self-preservation. You hit the right spot, and that person could, maybe I should watch what I say. That person could slowly fade out of the picture in less than 4 minutes, depending on where you place the round, and being aware of where to place a round, depending on the caliber that you carry, the distance you are from, say, the assailant, attacker, bad guy, whatever verbiage you want to use. So those things are super, super important. If the guy's 25 yards away and you've got a 9mm shield, and he's greater than 25 yards away, unless you're really proficient in shooting at that distance with a small handgun like that, don't even attempt it. It's stupid. Just get out of there. Obviously defend yourself when you're at home, but make sure you follow the laws in the state and counties that you live in. There's a lot of, I don't know, it just seems like every time you turn around there's a new law this way, a new law that way. Keeping your firearms secure in a home if you have small children, super important. I have 6. My kids have grown up around guns. They're adults now. They have their own firearms, and it's train your kids right around firearms. I can't stress that enough either. Handgun safety, firearm safety is paramount, man. Where you keep that muzzle, whether you know it's unloaded or not. Again, some of you have heard, treat every gun as if it was loaded. Absolutely treat every gun as if it was loaded. If you don't know for a fact, your mindset should be, where's that? Where do I have that muzzle pointed, and where can I make this weapon safe? Don't ever take somebody else's word for it. Make sure it's a safe weapon. And again, a huge supporter of the Second Amendment. I carry every day. I'm not going to brandish mine, but I carry every day, everywhere I go. It doesn't matter if it's right down the road. It's always with me. It's better to have it, never need it, than need it, never have it. Like a fire extinguisher in your house. It's better to have it, never need it, than need it, never have it. So I encourage every, citizen of the United States, especially women, if you don't have a CPL, CCW, concealed carry license, get one. I do believe that an armed society is a polite society, but again, not everybody should have one. Not everybody has the mental capacity to handle something so deadly, because the consequences are irreversible in most cases. And so again, to get a firearm, get one that that you could cycle, that you can rack, you can put a round in the chamber easily, quickly, and you can put a round down range and hit the target every time. I can't say that enough. And it doesn't matter, 22, 380, 9, 40, 45, whatever you're able to shoot effectively, and get your round on target, could save your life or your spouse or whatever, or could get you out of a situation and into safety, because now you have a firearm. You have something that it's going to make the bad guy think twice. It's like I said, the human mind is geared on self-preservation, and unless that person is hopped up on drugs or something else, it's just not aware. You could run into those people too. And that's usually when you see a guy do a mag dump, because the guy doesn't feel the rounds, doesn't know he's dead yet. Anyway, so that's my thought on a CPL, Second Amendment. If you don't have one, get one. If it's permissible in your state, always abide by the laws in your state. You'll keep your permit longer. You won't get incarcerated. You won't become a felon. And I would even recommend getting insurance to protect yourself, because guaranteed, if you get involved in a shooting, those knuckleheads, someone in their family will sue you. So definitely shop around, because they're not all the same. So anyway, that's my spiel on the Second Amendment. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'd love to help you out if I could, or direct you in the right direction. And again, like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a dime. Well, it would certainly help me out a lot, and I would appreciate it. Thanks, and have a great day.